Hi, this is Dave, Feld Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This week we've got another route choice. So the question is, how do we get from A to B? I want you to think about the terrain. I want you to think about which would be the quickest route. I want you to think about which would be the easiest route to navigate in poor visibility. And if one route's going to be faster than the other, which one would you take if you were just out enjoying yourself, or if you were racing, would you do anything different? So what are our choices? Often it's worth looking at the shortest route from A to B and then seeing if there's any reason why not to do that. So if we were to go in a straight line, we'd drop steeply down into this West End Valley and then up Deep Grain, and if we followed these streams roughly just to the east of north, this one stream is going to lead us all the way into our destination, so that's quite handy. The downside is we've got a steep down and steep up the other side, but that's certainly reasonably doable. Another option would be, or usually the opposite option, is to try and lose as little height as possible to go up the other side. So maybe take a longer route around, but with less climb. So that would mean heading northwestwards towards this ridge, then cutting over to West End Head and contouring round, possibly at some point picking up this black dashed line, which is a path. Maybe easier going running along that than it would be contouring just below it, because we've got to climb anyway to get to the ponds. And then we could tick off these streams, this sort of where the path crosses the double stream, and then another one, remembering to turn left there and follow that stream up for the last bit, just like we did on the direct route. So that is one way of looking at it, or the other way of looking at it. Let's put some lines on the map. I'm using Anket mapping software, so we can use that to measure the distance and get the elevation and get some estimated timings as well. So I'm just going to do that. So here's the direct line. Notice I'm going to the west of Deep Grain rather than to the east of it, so that I miss these streams draining in. We do have to cross this drainage feature, this stream that's draining in, so we've got a bit of a little short steep down and up there, and then, as I said before, following the stream as a handrail all the way in to the destination. The statistics on this one: distance is 2.3 kilometers, just over, with a total ascent of 166 meters. Estimated time just over 44 minutes. At the moment on this, I'm using Naismith's rule for time for walkers, so that's a pace of 5 kilometers an hour, which is 12 minutes per kilometer, and adding 1 minute for every 10 meters of uphill, so 10 meters of ascent. So that is the time that we'd get for that direct route walking. What about the contouring route out to the west? Well, we could do a few different variations on that. We could maybe drop a little bit lower and contour a bit lower. We've got these streams to contend with here, and if we drop lower, then we don't necessarily pick up this path as early. Some people suggested that we head for these streams, and on hitting these streams we actually go much further north to pick up the path early. I think the downside of doing that is you're going up just to come back down again, so you probably want to try and hit the path over here somewhere. But then, yeah, follow it in, as I said before, through these streams and then into that. That's an attack point. You don't want to go beyond that because you'll end up at Grindstones. What you could do is look at your direction. At the point where the path crosses the stream, we just started to go south of east. If we're heading south of east for more than 100 meters or so, then we're heading down here, and we don't want to be doing that. So checking your direction is really important, and then you just follow the stream up until it finishes. if for some reason you find that you're going downhill after you've turned left, then you've gone up and over the other side and you're heading off the top. So that's something to be aware of as a catching feature. So that is that. Distance almost 3.5 kilometers, ascent 109 meters, an estimated time 52.5 minutes using Naismith's rule. So quite a bit slower on that one than the direct. Someone suggested we could contour out round via this Griner Grain and then follow it along and pick up the path here and go in via Griner Stones, again using that where the path crosses a stream as your attack point to turn right and use the stream to lead you into your destination. So navigationally, no reason why you shouldn't do that. We've got this feature here with this it's a fence actually rather than a wall, but that junction there, if you needed it, you probably don't, because you've got great big land features to use this stream draining in, and then you just contour around until you hit that path. The downside of that is we're going down and steeply up the other side, but we're also adding distance as well. So we're not going directly down and up, we're going down and up and a bit more. So that is probably going to be even more time. If we look at the statistics for it, you can see we're 3.35 kilometers, but 210 meters of climb, and that's going to take us an hour. So that is the longest of those routes. That's for walking, as I said, using Naismith's rule. What about if we were saying we're going to run it? So running, we might use different sort of timing methods. I find that what works fairly well is running at a pace of 6 minutes per kilometre and adding 1 minute for every 30 metres of climb rather than every 10 metres of climb. So let's have a look at that if we use those figures. So at a running pace of 6 minutes per kilometre, what we can see is the time goes down to 90 minutes 15 seconds for the direct route. For the route that contours out to the west, 24.5 minutes. And for the route that goes down and up to the east and comes in via Griner Stones, we've got almost 27 minutes for that one. So the direct route is the quickest on that. I think looking at it, we're going to be, you're going to be fairly slow on this steep little section here, but it's very short, and then slow on the steep up the other side. But once you get beyond that boundary, the angle eases, and then it's reasonably straightforward from there, apart from maybe slowing down a little to cross that stream. But you've still got the same things to contend with on the purple route. You've got these streams to cross over here, and you've got a long kind of rising traverse here, which is probably not going to be much quicker than this line across here. So those are the options. Obviously you might have your own idea of what you prefer to do, but that's what the statistics would say. It looks like the direct route is the best one. But anyway, I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it interesting seeing what other people's thoughts were on this. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.